Hello guys. Welcome to Diablo the Primordial. This video is the continuation video after Dream or Reality. So if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates. Seems like there's no mistaking that is my blood. That means, that really wasn't a dream and Rimuru played a prank on myself. That bastard, well, even though I say that, it is me, but to do that even against myself. Like I thought, you won't believe me. Will you? No, I believe you, Tamura. Also, it seems like the police visited for no reason. After all, eh? No, nothing. Now that would be something he wouldn't believe even if I were to tell him. The attacker who killed me, I might have forgiven him, but Diablo sure wouldn't. By now, the attacker is probably experiencing unlimited torture by Diablo and regretting being born. There's no way he would believe that. So I tried to dodge the topic. By the way, Tamura, if I were to tell you that I went to another world after dying, would you believe me? To my whisper, Tamura's expression looked bewildered for a moment. He probably thought what in the world I was talking about. That would be the normal reaction, or so I thought, but I would believe you, senpai. I just witnessed something very weird, and besides, that woman felt strangely like you after all. And now when I think about it, I feel like that person might have been you, senpai. I even thought of something as absurd as that, after all. I see. Then it's fine if I told you. Do you want to listen? I asked with a smile, and Tamura also answered back with a smile. Please. I see. Well then, I shall tell you all about it. About the time I was reincarnated as a slime. Chapter 257, Rimuru's Elegant Escape. Morning for Diablo started quite early. Let's rephrase that. As Diablo doesn't require sleep, he gets work done during the night. In order to work together with his respected master Rimuru in the morning, he finishes up all his miscellaneous work when he is free. When he visited Rimuru's room in the morning, like always, the everyday event of Shuna and Shion fighting over who gets to wake up Rimuru was taking place. Excuse me, Shion, but you woke him up yesterday, didn't you? It's my turn today, no? Forgive me for saying this, Shuna-sama. This isn't something to be done in turns, but my duty as his secretary, such a thing, even if it's Shuna-sama saying so, I cannot abide by it. Splendidly ignoring all of this, Diablo entered the room. Oh dear. It's admiring how they can keep this up without getting tired every single morning. With such noise, there's no way that Rimuru-sama hasn't noticed yet. He once tried to advise the girls to be careful, but forget it. That's basically walking naked into a minefield, you know. For the irresolute, it's better to just let the sleeping dogs lie. Thus, since Rimuru himself had instructed so, Diablo decided to let the girls be. That is without a doubt the correct choice. That is because it was like a daily morning custom, and even Milam or Ramirez participated from time to time. Or rather, there were also cases where Milam or Ramirez even slipped into his bed. The girls' commotion further increased when they witnessed such scenarios, and when on top of that, Milam also joins in on the commotion, there's no space for Diablo to join in. Kufufufufu. As expected of Rimuru-sama, you have read this far ahead, haven't you? While admiring Rimuru's accuracy of predicting what's forthcoming, he was adhering to the saying of, letting sleeping dogs lie. If he lets every single thing bother him, he will only get tired, so it is best to not care, is what Diablo understood. However, this was something possible of only Diablo. For example, if it was Benimaru, the girls would demand him to be the judge. Oni-sama, please tell Shion off. No wait. It doesn't really matter who does that. Benimaru-sama. This is definitely a secretary's duty. One's job is important to them. Even Benimaru-sama is willing to understand that, right? That you know. One's job is important, but? Oni-sama. Benimaru-sama. Thus, in that way, being blamed by those two, there would also be times when he was the one being treated like the bad guy. It's exactly because Diablo always has this aura of rejecting and overwhelming others that the girls have a hard time talking to him. Therefore, every day, Diablo polished his ability to ignore others and was able to freely exhibit it. Rimuru-sama, it is Diablo. Morning preparations have been completed, so I've come to call for your presence. Calling out to him like that, Diablo would enter Rimuru's room. However, the situation was different from normal this time. After bowing, Diablo raised his head. Diablo shifted his gaze atop the bed, where he saw a single slime wobbling and quivering. Oh, Rimuru-sama, is something the matter? Pura Peru, I am the slime Rimuru-en. I am not a bad slime, you know. Has something upset? Oh my? What's happened, Rimuru-sama? Excuse me, Shion, please let me embrace him as well. Diablo was just about to ask if Rimuru was not feeling well after noticing his unusual behavior, when suddenly Shion came thrusting in out of the blue from the side. While looking at that enviously, Shuna put her hands forward to snatch away the slime from Shion. It seems like to the two of them, Rimuru's unusual behavior wasn't a big problem. Even so, Shion, to have thrust me aside so easily, if it's in terms of strength she might exceed me. Nevertheless, what exactly has happened to Rimuru-sama? Looking at the two of them embracing and caressing the slime in turns with sidelong glances, Diablo tried to sort out the situation. There was no mistaking that the slime before him was Rimuru. But, from that very person's mouth the name Rimuru-en came out. Even if someone could deceive Shion, there's no imposter out there who could fool Shuna's analysis appraisal. So there's no doubt that that's the actual person. Even with my senses, I am able to feel endlessly large amounts of magicules, which means that slime is undoubtedly Rimuru-sama himself. No, but still? That slime just let the two do as they pleased, looking embarrassed. He looked innocent no matter how one looked at him and didn't feel like the usual brazen Rimuru. However, one still can't overturn the conclusion that this is the actual person. Shuna and Shion delightfully started to look after the slime, Rimuru-en. Perhaps, this is one of Rimuru-sama's evil schemes. Well then, what will he do this time? Diablo reached such a conclusion. He probably left his real body behind and transferred his consciousness to a clone to take action somewhere. Because if multiple parallel existence is used, it's possible to immediately determine the position of his body double. Diablo recalled that due to the cost of becoming such a vast existence, Rimuru was complaining about having difficulty executing covert actions. Oh dear, is it because finding an explanation would be troublesome after leaving behind his consciousness? Or is it that he left a message about going out for the time being? In either case, it boils down to me searching for Rimuru-sama, doesn't it? Kufufufufu. Leaving behind Shuna and Shion caring for Rimuru-en on the bed, Diablo followed his instincts and promptly started the search for Rimuru. The escape was successful. Well, it's only natural. After all, I had to prepare the clone body which doesn't have a single bit of magic in it after carefully repeating the experiment over and over. This body has the same level of performance as humans. There's surely no one out there who can realize I am the Demon Lord in this form. I was feeling good that the plan was progressing smoothly. The objective this time was to participate in the 8th Development Forum of Magic and Science which was being held in Ingracia College Town. I wasn't going to be the one announcing it, rather I was planning on attending the event as a general participant. Although the forum is held every year, there was a reason behind him participating this time. One of the announcers this year was an acquaintance. That announcer was Mai Furuki. She is the person from whom I completed the full version of teleportation. Currently, there are 3 places which have institutions called academies. One is the academy called Tempest Institution of Human Resource Development, located in Tempest, where I reside. The academy was expanded to former Ingracia Kingdom, now Ingracia College Town, and was called Ingracia Institution of Synthesis. And then lastly, in the Sovereign Alliance of the Nazca Namrium Ulmeria Empire was NNU Institution of Magic and Science Investigation. The academies have different characteristics, but don't quite necessarily excel at anything in particular. As for the annually held forum, the town where it's held is changed every year. This time it just happened to be held in Ingracia College Town. Even the announcer for this event, Mai, was not researching in the Ingracia Institute, but was a member of the NNU Institution of Magic and Science Investigation. She got into NNU since it seemed the most advanced publicly, but, due to Mai being easily able to move about using teleportation, she wasn't really tied to being a member of any particular school. This time, finally, Mai had succeeded in developing the navigation method for traveling through dimensions. And since she was announcing the theory, it's impossible for me to not want to participate in such a thing. As for why I had to participate stealthily, there was also a reason behind this. Since I have become famous as the great demon lord who saved the world, if I declare that I will attend an event in public, the venue will be filled with havoc with arrangements and preparations for security. I fear there are the fools who target me to gain fame, but, even if that happens there's no need for someone to accompany me. Just that it would be terrible if the single possibility that the announcers or audience getting involved comes true. Particularly the announcers, since the most intelligent people from every nation are making a name for themselves. The loss faced in such case would be immeasurable. Although I could just rewind time and undo it if such a thing occurred, it's better to just be careful from the start so that I don't need to go through such troubles. Or rather, I just wanted to take a walk alone to relax too. My home country, Tempest, has now grown into a metropolis, and no matter where you are in the country, there's always someone watching. Although I generally live as I please, it's only natural for me to want to enjoy some free activity. I am moving confidentially with the plan this time. I even stayed quiet about it to Diablo, but, knowing him, when he sees the body I left behind Rimuru, he will probably realize my intention. All it comes down to is a battle with time, but can he really find me at my current state, when I am no different from a human? And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched my other videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.